welcome to PalaceFanTV for our season preview 2015-2016 here at the Victory Club in Norwood Junction. I'm Jim Daly, and with me I've got two familiar faces if you watched our end of season review show from the end of last season. We've got Terence Ford from redandbluearmy.co.uk and Jay Crame from the Eagles Beak. Chaps, how are you?
Very good, thank you.
Good, thank you.
Looking forward to the start of the season.
Good man, that's what we want to hear. That's the spirit we want. Welcome back to the show. We are doing two preview shows. For the first one, we're going to look back at the transfers that Palace have secured this summer. And in the second video, we'll be looking at the pre-season form and ahead to the game against Norwich, first game of the season. So, transfers then for this video, chaps. Palace have confirmed 4 transfers so far. Yohan Cabaye, Alex McCarthy, Patrick Bamford and Connor Wickham. Now, in our review show a few months ago, we said we wanted 3 particular signings: a centre-back, a creative midfielder and a striker. We've got the midfielder in Cabaye. How did that make you feel, Terry?
Biggest signing since Lombardo, isn't it? It's a big show of intent to go out and get a player of that quality, and he's come from, Paris Saint-Germain are about to sign Angel Di Maria for a shed load of money. They're a big European club now, a big European mainstay in the European Cup and so on. So to sign a player from that sort of club for big money, transfer record for the club.
He's also swapped Paris for Croydon, which I think we can all agree is a wonderful thing to do. It's kind of a weird transfer, Jay, isn't it? Because we're not used to making big name transfers like this. But now that Palace are in the Premier League, we've got the new TV money. We've got a sort of bigger reputation. Maybe these are sort of transfers we're going to see more often of.
Yeah, I think it's a signing where it's a player of a calibre that we didn't expect to see, perhaps, but we wanted to see. We got to a point where we finished in the Premier League 10th, 11th and 10th now, and we wanted the club to push on. Most fans, I think I've spoken to over the summer, wanted the club to push on, but were they prepared to do that? Were we going to do something that would allow us to push on this season? And the purchase of Cabaye has pretty much done that. And as already mentioned, it reminds me of Lombardo signing. The same feeling, that back then that was a real surprise because you didn't really have the media or the social media that you do now. There was rumours about Cabaye, but back then the Lombardo was signing. He was a big name in European football, and you only tended to know about the big names in European football. Now you tend to know a lot more about players around Europe and the world, but even so, the feeling is the same with Cabaye signing. There's a real good feeling about it, and positive outlook for the season.
It's been positive for Palace as well, because now everyone's talking about Palace as these dark horses. Everyone's saying Cabaye's the signing of the summer for Palace. This is Palace. We don't make these signings. It's kind of weird, isn't it, Terry?
Yeah, it's weird for me because it feels like it's come perhaps maybe a season or even 2 seasons earlier than I would have perhaps suspected it when we came up. I thought it would be a good few years of consolidating if we were going to do that, but we've done it so quickly, and only playing half a season each time as well. It's come very soon, but Jack Thurston, who did the end of the season review of us, keeps berating me for being surprised by it. He's like, he's already moved on to that stage where we've got to expect to make these kind of signings and move on to this next level, and he's probably right. We need to look behind it. A few years ago, the thought of signing someone for 200 grand would be like, oh God, is he going to bankrupt us? 10 million
Jack probably is right, but let's not tell him that. Now our other signings then, Alex McCarthy, a goalkeeper from QPR. And this has kind of shook things up now, because now everyone's not quite sure who's going to be our goalkeeper, are they, Jay?
No, you're right, and obviously with the injury to Speroni that is facing 3 or 4 weeks out to miss the start of the season, it's going to be a decision between Hennessy and McCarthy. And I've spoken to a few QPR fans who suggested that McCarthy should have perhaps got a nod a few more times over Rob Green last season. A good understudy, comes to us with a decent reputation. Never really made it as number 1 other than at Reading. He never really had the chance at QPR, so I'm expecting good things from him. He's got a good reputation.
Do you know much about him?
Yeah, I remember seeing at Reading a few times and thinking, very good goalkeeper, very good shot stopper, command his area well. Had a bit of a slow start, I think, pre-season. Probably should have done better in the Sporting. We can't call them Sporting Lisbon.
They're not. They're Sporting Club de Portugal.
Yes,
so we always get our facts right on PalaceFanTV.
And I think, and he could have probably done. It's a bit harsh actually. He made a really good save last night, but parried it straight out to the striker who tapped it home. But I think Hennessy will be very upset if he doesn't start on Saturday. So I'd imagine he'll get the nod, but it's a good opportunity for both of them to stake a claim while Speroni's out and not give him a chance to get back in. I don't know if that's how it will materialise, but it'd be interesting to see what happens.
Now it feels like Palace are sort of plugging holes with these signings. We've got a midfielder, we've got a keeper, we've got a couple of strikers, which we'll come on to, but no new centre back. Is that surprising? I mean, we've secured Scott Dan on a 5-year deal, and Brede Hangeland has re-signed. But do we think there might be another new face in a centre back?
It's a good question. I'm not sure whether there will be. I think they're probably looking for somebody, but I don't think they're going to panic over getting somebody in. I think we signed Brede Hangeland on a 1-year deal, which is a good signing for me. He knows the club, experienced player who's not going to play every game. He's probably not even going to start many games, but he's going to be there as a good backup. We saw Martin Kelly have a decent spell against Liverpool at centre back. I really feel that he can be a centre back for us because of his injury, his knee injury at Liverpool makes him less mobile. So I think he works better as a centre back, and he proved that in the Liverpool game. So he's good cover. I think probably need more cover at fullback in a way. Soiree looks decent.
Soiree looks like he might become a bit of a player, doesn't he?
I'm
He's
impressed
improving
with him.
all the time.
Yeah, I think after him signing last season, he's only ever played for one club in France. He's a Senegalese international. Probably when we signed him, he needed a bit of time to settle. I think that showed in his game. He looked great going forward, putting a few great crosses. But pre-season, I think he's impressed me actually, particularly at Fulham at the weekend.
I felt a bit sorry for him because it was the first thing that he did in a Palace shirt was give away a penalty against Arsenal, and you immediately get judged. Fans can be so fickle in that way, and he's. I thought he impressed me in that game, and
a hard game to go into.
Exactly right. I actually gave him man of the match in that game, and loads of people were like, "What are you talking about?" And I'm just like, the way he, the French game is so much slower compared to the English game, and for him to adapt as well as he did for that game, and he gets forward and he's left-footed, the way he puts the ball in the box. I mean, we've got enough strikers now. We're going to thrive on that sort of service. So. Exciting times.
But are you surprised about a lack of centre back, or is the Scott Dan sort of staying almost like use a cliche, like a signing in a way?
I think if the right person was available, would go for it. There was talk about James Chester, but it's always going to be, I think, with Parish, is going to be the right player at the right price, and 8 million was too much for James Chester. I think if we could have got him for 5 million or something like that, we might have seen it happen. And I don't think we'll rush. As you're saying, I think we'll wait for the right player to come available. We know we've got enough cover there. I think Brede Hangeland's a great player just to have around the club anyway. Watching the pre-seasons this year, obviously being smaller grounds like Bromley, you can hear what the players are saying, and just he was playing next to Kroll at centre-back, the youngster, and just the way he was talking him through the game, you could hear it. It was really great to watch and listen to, just his experience and positioning in him and telling him what to do. It was excellent. So,
the Scott Dan thing is weird though, because he was linked with the move to Everton, which we know he's from up north, and that kind of, we've got family up there, that makes sense, but a lot of Everton fans weren't that bothered about signing him, and he's probably one of our best players. Isn't that a bit weird?
Very odd. I think he's kind of gone under the radar a bit, particularly as a Premier League player. He's gone about his business in a professional manner, and he's played well for us, and obviously got Player of the Season. But for me, him signing a new contract as well as James McCarthy, I think they're almost as big as signing Cabaye, because we've got players that want to play for Palace. They're not looking to leave. They're wanting to stay and be part of something that could be quite special at the club. So that's impressed me as much as the signing of Cabaye, really.
What was interesting, listening the other night to Andy Woodman was talking to Hull Radio, and he was saying you don't understand the pull that the fans have. Everyone's been listening to the fans, and we've built up this reputation. And he was saying that Cabaye was one of the big things that's pulled me is I saw him on Sky TV. I heard the fans I want to play in that sort of old-fashioned English stadium with the fans getting behind the team. And so we can't underestimate ourselves.
Not at all.
Well done, you lot. Okay, so moving on to two strikers. We've got Patrick Bamford on loan from Chelsea for the season, and Connor Wickham has arrived from Sunderland. Now, we talked in the end of season review show about possibly a big name striker coming in. There was talk of Loic Remy and Charlie Austin, but you were actually part of the Connor Wickham fan club. To the point where, do you want to show the camera? You've already got Wickham 21 on the back of your shirt.
First person to do so, according to the club shop today.
Possibly the only person. Anyone that you really would like to see?
I'm a huge advocate of Connor Wickham. I think Connor Wickham in the right club would score a lot of goals, and we are tailor-made, I believe, for him.
So you must be pretty happy then?
I think he fits the profile. Parish has said this, young English talent, and he only needs to score 10 goals this season and he'll be worth double the money we paid for him. And he will retain his value if that's not the case. So I think he needed the move away from Sunderland. They was always playing him out of position. The one time they did play him in position, he scored consistently and basically single-handedly gave him enough points to stay up last season. Mm-hmm. If he's playing centre forward all the time and he's got people like Zaha, Balassi, Cabaye and Puncheon providing him service, he's going to score goals.
Did it not, Jay, feel a little bit, having been linked with Remy and Austin, a bit an underwhelming signing, or was that a bit harsh?
A bit harsh, I think. I think that the signing of Cabaye probably gave fans a bit of a false impression as to what else we were going to do in the transfer market. I think we've had a very good transfer market. We've gone about our business very well indeed. We've got Cabaye in, and we've got players in that we needed to in certain areas that have strengthened what we already had, and we already had a strong squad. So looking at the bench or the options from the bench now, it's just strengthened what we already had. I think the signings of Remy and perhaps Austin may have been a bit further than we as fans actually hoped. I mean, there's a lot of rumours on social media and internet how close any of those deals were, or whether we actually made any interest. Is difficult to tell. But for me, I'm with Terence on Wickham. We've been linked with him for God knows how long. Mm. Yeah, every summer we seem to be linked with Wickham ever since he was at Ipswich and broke through. I think he was 16 when he first broke through. Seems to have been around for a long time, but he wasn't played in the right position at Sunderland, and when he was, he scored goals.
His record's not great, but is that because of the positional sort of thing?
Very possibly, yeah. And I think the way we played last season, we only played the one up front, so that role I think will suit him really well. And with the service of Balassi, Zaha, and Cabaye, he's going to score goals. So
I don't think with Patrick Bamford watching him in the last against Bromley and Dagenham and Redbridge, I know he scored a hat-trick against Bromley, but the level of the opposition was very poor. Yeah. I felt a bit sorry for him. We was talking to Mark Goldberg before the game, and he was like, I was expecting the development squad for a competitive match, and he goes and Wilfried Zaha walks out to the field. He did say in fairness he was called and told that the first team were coming, but Bamford dropped deeper, and I can't see how he's going to play away from home for Palace. He's not got that sticking presence up front, so I think he will see Bamford play a lot more at home, and potentially Wickham play a lot more.
It's a decent option, isn't it? We'll talk about players that might leave, but if you've still got Murray and Gale and Campbell, it's not a bad bunch of strikers, is it?
Not at all. No, it's so many more options available. As long as they all stay, mm-hmm. I have a feeling that one of them may go. One of them may have to go with the signing of Wickham, but I think the core we've got there now, the options available, Pardew can mix it up.
Patrick Bamford as well, one of the poshest players to play for Palace potentially. Have you seen the interview with him? He's a very well-spoken young man, isn't he?
Yes.
Good man. So am I. So that's absolutely fine, Patrick. Let's talk about players that have left. One confirmed departure, Egbo to the Bundesliga. Bit of a weird one, Terry.
Very weird. It sort of came out of the... There was kind of talk about potentially the contract talks weren't going so well, and he was expecting him to go somewhere in England, at least. But to go to Mönchengladbach is a very, very strange one.
It's a bold move. Do you think it will pay off for him?
I hope it does. One thing I've always thought is not enough English players go abroad and learn to ply their trade in a different kind of style of football. And it's probably been to the detriment of our national team. So if players from that age want to go out and start playing in, let's face it, the Bundesliga is pretty high standard, probably got more depth than the Liga has in that sense. So outside of Munich, of course, you've got a lot more competition down. So hopefully it'll work out for him. I mean, it's sad to see him going. It's a bit of perhaps a worrying sign for the academy, but we'll have to see how that pans out once all the investment's gone into the first team and we start to focus on the academy again, hopefully.
Well, best of luck to him, because it's a very bold move. Now, players that have been linked with a move away include strikers. Obviously, Glenn Murray potentially linked with a move to Bournemouth. Dwight Gale has been linked with Fulham and Norwich, and Fraser Campbell has been linked with anyone that will have him. What do we think about that then, Jay? You think one of them might probably go?
Yeah, I think so. What we've signed in Bamford, I kind of guess that replaces the Sonogo loan deal that we had last season, which didn't really work out for us.
Would you be upset if Gale went?
If he went out on loan, it wouldn't trouble me at all. I think he'll score goals if he went out on loan. He will always score goals wherever he goes, but I really struggle with how he's going to fit into the Palace side at the moment. He can't play alone up front. He seems to play better alongside somebody like Murray. But I can't see us playing that very often. So, and he looks lost when he's out wide as part of a kind of attacking three as such. So, I want to see him stay, but maybe a loan away from the club might help him. Mould himself into a player that perhaps he should.
Is it wrong? Is it wrong club, wrong time for Gale?
I don't think it's wrong club, wrong time. I think it's wrong era. I think if Gale's
well, he can't do anything about that.
If Gale's 20 years younger, he's a superstar playing in a 4-4-2. He's an absolute superstar. He would have scored goals for fun, but football's just not played that way at the moment, and it's just probably the wrong time for him. So it'll be interesting to see where he does.
It's a shame because he's so popular. Everyone loves him at Palace, but you feel like maybe it's just not gonna work out. Maybe at some point we just got to sort of cut our losses.
I think it's similar to Glenn Murray as well. If Wickham coming in, similar kind of player in the role that he plays for the team. Hopefully Murray will stick around because Wickham could probably learn a lot from Murray, and they could play different games and stuff like that. But I've got a feeling that Murray might be the one to go because with the injury that Campbell's just had, I can't see him going very far.
Yeah, I'm not sure though, because if Connor Wickham gets injured, who's going to play up the hold-up role? True. So maybe we will need to keep Murray, and because Campbell, as I say, Campbell looks like he's done his hamstring last night at Dagenham.
We haven't mentioned Shamak either.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How do we feel about Shamak?
Well, my feelings are clear on Shamak. I love him, but it does look like his hamstring might be shot. So it'll be interesting to see if, when he comes back from this injury, I can't see him going anywhere if I'm honest. But when he comes back from this injury, if he's injured again within a few games, it might be curtains for him.
Yeah. Well, best of luck, Maro, and we wish you all the best. Now, if you've seen the end of season review show, you'll know that I love a quiz, and we're going to round off part one with a quiz. It's called McCarthy or McCarthy. Now, of course, Palace have got two players now called McCarthy, Alex and Paddy. So I've got a couple of questions for you both relating to the two. Question number one: which McCarthy has been out on loan the most times in their career?
Alex.
You going, Alex?
Alex, yeah.
Paddy's only hard, so yeah, Alex.
Alex is the right answer. Well done. 1 point each. 4 times for Paddy, 8 times for Alex. So there you go. Number two: which McCarthy missed the entire 2011-2012 season through injury?
Paddy.
Paddy, yeah.
Sure?
Yes.
Correct. That might have been too easy, that one. It was, of course, Paddy.
It was 2010-11, after Player of the Year. I think he'd done his hamstring singing Elvis karaoke.
Oh, I think I was there.
Yeah, it was in the
White Hart.
Yes, the White Hart.
That was a good night.
Yeah.
That was a good night. He got us all sat on the floor for some reason to sing an Elvis song. Don't know why, but there you go. Final question then. So if you both get this right, well done. You've both jointly won. Who has made the most appearances for their respective under-21 national side? Paddy for Ireland, Alex for England.
I'm going to plump for Alex.
Alex?
I'd say
okay.
Paddy, because I reckon Butland's outdone McCarthy.
The correct answer is Paddy, 7-3. Well done, Terry. You've won nothing. Good. Listen, thank you very much for watching part one of our season preview here at PalaceFanTV. Don't forget to subscribe for more of these videos and weekly videos throughout the season, and get us on Twitter at PalaceFanTV for all the latest. And we'll see you again soon.
When I was a young boy, my mom said to me, "Next to the name of son, you're simply a